Imagine an AI not just, answering your questions, but actually doing things for you online. Thoughtfully. We're really stepping into an era where artificial intelligence takes action on its own. Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're exploring a pretty profound shift happening in AI. Some are calling it the agent era. AI is no longer just a passive encyclopedia. It's becoming, well, a remarkably active participant in our digital world. We've looked through a whole stack of sources for this, including a really detailed look at OpenAI's new ChatGPT agent feature, and also a flurry of other, frankly, revolutionary AI tools that popped up just this past week. Our mission today: to understand what's truly possible with AI right now, where these new capabilities really shine, and maybe most importantly, where human ingenuity, human oversight remains absolutely crucial. Okay, so for years, our interaction with AI has mostly been about asking questions, right? Getting information back. But from what our sources suggest, that paradigm, that fundamental way we use AI, it seems like it's genuinely shifted.
It really has. Think of the new ChatGPT agent feature like a highly skilled digital assistant, an assistant that can essentially borrow your computer to get things done.
Yeah.
Previous AI models were pretty much stuck in a chat window. An AI agent, though, operates inside a simulated web browser. That's a big leap, a significant jump in autonomy.
A simulated web browser. Okay, so if I'm getting this right, it can actually navigate websites, click buttons, fill out forms, kind of like a person would, but all within its own, secure space. The potential applications there seem huge.
Precisely, yeah. This capability opens up just a universe of possibilities for you. It means intelligent web browsing, actually executing transactions, performing really complex multi-step research, and handling sequences of tasks all autonomously. It's almost like having a dedicated digital employee for certain workflows.
That sounds incredibly powerful. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, from what we read, he even highlighted its potential to handle financial stuff, transactions. But at the same time, he gave a pretty serious warning, didn't he?
Yes, a very important one. Users absolutely must proceed with extreme caution, especially when dealing with sensitive info like credit card details, login credentials, that kind of thing. This immense power, it just comes with significant risk. You really need to be vigilant, not complacent.
So that virtual browser is key for security then. What makes it different from just, my regular Chrome window?
It's a secure, temporary sandbox, totally separate from your personal computer.
Okay, now here's where the mechanics get really fascinating for me. How do these agents actually see and do things? It's not some kind of digital magic, right?
No magic at all. It's actually a pretty sophisticated, iterative process. Imagine you've hired a remote worker, maybe, and you're watching their screen through something like TeamViewer. You see them observe, decide, then act. The AI agent works in a remarkably similar way, but its computer is that virtual browser environment we talked about. And it's secure, isolated, a clean instance of a browser, a sandbox. That means it absolutely cannot access your personal files or settings. It's really contained, which is vital for security.
And its operation follows this loop, like observe, think, act, over and over.
That's exactly it. First, the agent observes. It sees a simplified version of the web page, think the underlying HTML, the visible text. It carefully labels interactive bits, maybe button ID 25, so it knows what's clickable. Then it thinks. This is the large language model of the brain, basically, like GPT-4, the part that reasons. It compares what it sees against its goal, let's say book a flight to Da Nang, and figures out the next logical step. Like, okay, my next move should be to put SGN in the from field. And finally, it acts. Based on that thought, it executes a command, something like click button ID 25, or maybe type text input field search, nonstop flights to Da Nang.
Right. And this cycle repeats, maybe hundreds of times for something complicated, this methodical process. That must be why they can sometimes feel a bit slow, I guess.
Precisely. Yeah, the latency you might notice. It isn't the agent getting stuck or anything. It's the cumulative time for each of those round trips, back and forth between the virtual browser and the AI model's brain. Each action, each little decision needs a new communication cycle. So this deliberate, step-by-step thing ensures accuracy. But yeah, it definitely sacrifices that instant speed we're used to with simple AI questions.
So the methodical approach.
Yeah.
What's the main trade-off for getting that accuracy?
Accuracy comes at the cost of speed. It's a step-by-step process.
Okay, so to really, kick the tires on this, our sources set up a complex real-world challenge. This wasn't just asking for facts. It was about planning a whole weekend trip.
Yeah, they really threw down the gauntlet. They tasked it with planning a 3-day weekend trip for 2 people. Destination: Da Nang, Vietnam. Time frame: the second weekend of next month. And the budget was tight. Flights and hotel combined, maximum $700. It had to find round-trip, nonstop flights from Ho Chi Minh City to Da Nang, find a 4-star hotel with a pool, good reviews near Mai Kay Beach, and find a unique local food tour for Saturday evening. Then, here's the kicker, actually book the flights and hotel.
Wow. Okay, so how did the agent do on this real-world gauntlet? Did it manage to actually book everything?
Well, it immediately got to work inside its dedicated virtual browser. Researchers could watch it. It tackled the request really methodically over about 50 minutes. It went to Google Flights, Kayak, found some decent nonstop options on Vietjet Air and Bamboo Airways. Price-wise, they looked okay. For hotels, it used Booking.com, Agoda, filtering for 4-star, pool near the beach. It even shortlisted a few, like the Sala Da Nang Beach Hotel. And yeah, it successfully found a motorbike street food tour for the activity. Pretty cool.
That's honestly impressive, getting all those pieces lined up, finding the options, checking criteria. But this is where we hit that snag, right? What the source is called the last mile problem. It got so far, but then.
Exactly, yes. After 50 minutes of really impressive planning, the agent couldn't complete a single actual transaction. It got right up to the final payment screen for both the flights and the hotel, and then it just stopped. It needed passenger details, credit card info, sensitive stuff. It gave the link for the food tour like requested, but it just couldn't finalize anything requiring that sensitive data. It really hit that security wall, which is there for a reason, of course.
So what's the main takeaway from that experiment then? What worked exceptionally well and where did it, fall short?
Okay, it excelled at a complex understanding, really grasping the multi-part request. Intelligent research, too, comparing prices and reviews across different sites. That was good. Handling simultaneous tasks, problem solving. Like, it pivoted pretty smoothly when one booking site was slow. It truly acted like a tireless digital assistant for all the planning stuff.
And its biggest limitation, the place it fell short.
The last mile problem. It's that critical security safeguard, stopping it before payment.
I still kind of wrestle with the practical friction of that last mile problem myself. I mean, it's obviously a necessary hurdle for security, right? But it does mean it's not truly set it and forget it. Not yet. So basically, it's a phenomenal planner, a great research assistant, but not quite a fully autonomous booker. Is that fair?
Exactly. Think of it as a co-pilot. Gets you maybe 90% of the way there, but you still have to take the controls for landing.
Okay, let's clarify the difference here. How do these new AI agents really compare to the traditional AI assistants we've used for years, like Siri or classic ChatGPT?
Oh, it's a fundamental paradigm shift, really. Traditional assistants, mostly for information retrieval, answering questions, usually stuck inside their own app. Agents, though, are about task execution, getting things done, goal completion across the open web. Traditional is usually single turn, mostly stateless, doesn't remember much from one question to the next. Agents are multi-step, autonomous processes. They keep track of the state, the context throughout long tasks. They kind of remember what they're doing and why.
That distinction is huge. It's a different category of tool. Knowing that, our sources decided to push it even further. Could you run multiple agents at the same time? They tested this with 3 separate tasks running in parallel.
They did, yeah. They launched 3 agents with pretty different, complex goals. One was the Da Nang weekend trip we just talked about. Another was creating a 10-slide PowerPoint presentation on content marketing. And the third was analyzing a competitor's YouTube channel to pull data into a spreadsheet, all running simultaneously.
Okay, and what were the results of this multi-agent test? Was it a mixed bag? Did some tasks work better than others?
It was a very mixed bag, yeah. And super revealing, the web-heavy Da Nang trip took the 50 minutes and, like we said, still needed human help at the end. The creative task, the presentation, that took 41 minutes. But the design was kind of generic, the content pretty basic, needed a lot of human editing. But here's the really interesting bit, the data analysis task. Scraping YouTube data, making a spreadsheet, that took only 4 minutes. And it produced a perfectly formatted, accurate spreadsheet. Even had some insightful summaries. Whoa! I mean, just imagine a world where you could orchestrate like a dozen specialized agents, each one nailing their specific task, all running in parallel. The potential is kind of mind-bending.
That really highlights where these agents seem to shine right now, doesn't it? Structured, data-driven tasks seem slower and less refined when it comes to maybe more creative work or really complex, nuanced web navigation. So agents are really at their best when the task involves a lot of structured data.
Yes, they truly shine with data analysis and clear, objective tasks. Mid-roll sponsor, read marker, sponsor content provided separately.
Okay, so beyond what we've dived into with ChatGPT agents, the whole AI space is just exploding with innovation, it feels like every week. What other groundbreaking AI launches from just this past week should we know about? It's hard to keep up.
It really has been an incredible week. So much happened. First, ChatGPT's record feature is now for everyone, well, for Plus users anyway. It was Pro exclusive. This lets you record any system audio on your Mac, like a Zoom call, a lecture, whatever, and it automatically generates a really detailed summary. Super powerful for meeting notes or repurposing content quickly. Then, Anthropic's Claude is positioning itself as a hub. They launched a directory of tools that integrate directly with Claude. Think seamless connections with stuff like Asana, Canva, Gmail, Google Drive, even Stripe. Early testing showed some bugs, apparently, but you gotta expect stability will improve fast.
That idea of Claude becoming a central work hub, that feels like a significant step towards a more unified AI assistant. What else is making waves, maybe in the more personalized AI space?
Okay, check this out. InVideo AI launched AI Twin. Version 4.0 creates a digital avatar of you. You just record at least 60 seconds of yourself, give verbal permission, and within minutes, boom, you have a digital clone. Imagine, like a real estate agent writes a script for their weekly market update, pastes it in, and their digital clone presents it flawlessly. It could turn what was maybe a half-day task into just 10 minutes. And even more personal, Hume AI is cloning personality. Their EVI3 model replicates not just your voice, but your actual speaking style. It analyzes like a 90-second voice sample, learns your cadence, your filler words, your uns and ums, your conversational patterns. A podcaster maybe could create a digital version of themselves for interactive Q&As with fans, keeping their unique style.
That's fascinating. Not just the voice, but the little mannerisms, the speech patterns. Wow. What about for more traditional creative fields,
Yeah.
like filmmaking or audio work?
Yeah, for filmmakers, sound designers, Adobe Firefly now hears your voice and creates sound effects. This is genuinely kind of mind-blowing. You can literally record yourself making a noise like just swoosh or flutter flutter and tell the AI what you want it to become. So a filmmaker sees a bird take flight, makes that sound, and Firefly turns it into a high-fidelity, perfectly synced audio track of realistic wing beats. Crazy.
And we also saw other things popping up, right? Like Runway's Act 2 for motion capture, animating characters with your movements, Mirageal LSD for real-time video transformation, turning your feed into visual art, plus Grok AI's somewhat controversial Annie and Rudy companions, which kind of point to this demand for more personalized AI, even if some options are less filtered.
Okay, so looking at all these, what's the common thread? What ties these diverse new tools together?
I think they're all about automating and customizing creative or repetitive tasks. That seems to be the core focus.
This just dizzying level of innovation, it also speaks to the intense competition heating up in the AI world, right? The talent wars, from what our sources indicate, sound absolutely real. Oh, they are. Our sources detailed this high-stakes saga in AI coding. Really interesting. OpenAI was apparently in talks to acquire a company called Windsurf, a promising AI coding tool. But then, boom, its CEO and top talent abruptly left for Google DeepMind. But even after losing its leadership, Windsurf still got acquired, but by Cognition, the company behind the Devon AI agent. This whole scenario just highlights how incredibly valuable elite AI talent has become and the fierce competition between these big players to own the future of software development, especially in this agent space. It's like a high-stakes game of digital chess.
Okay, so for you, our listener, listening to all this, what does it actually mean? How do we effectively use these powerful new tools in our own lives or businesses without getting overwhelmed or making mistakes?
Right. AI agents are definitely here. They're real. But it's crucial to understand they are not yet fully autonomous. Not really. They're powerful force multipliers, absolutely. But they consistently require human strategy, human oversight. That, to me, is the core message our sources keep hammering home.
Could you maybe offer some practical guidance? How to actually integrate these into our daily routines, whether it's for work or just personal life?
Sure. Okay, for business professionals, think of and use these agents like tireless research interns. Have them gather huge amounts of data, compare vendors super efficiently, maybe create initial drafts of reports, delegate routine data entry. But, and this is the critical part, never allow an agent to make a final, unsupervised decision on important business matters or, especially, financial transactions. Always review its work with your own judgment. For personal productivity, yeah, let an agent plan your vacation outline, find recipes that fit criteria, create detailed shopping lists. It'll save you countless hours of just tedious drudgery, freeing you up to make that final 10% of decisions requiring your personal taste, your judgment. Just be really vigilant about your data. Use unique passwords. Be present for any step that needs personal or financial info. Don't just let it run wild with that stuff. And for content creators, tools like that InVideo AI Twin or Adobe's sound effect generator, they can dramatically speed up your production workflow. Use real-time video effects for unique live content maybe. But always, always treat AI-generated content, text, scripts, images, whatever, as a first draft. You have to infuse it with your unique voice, your style, your perspective. That human touch is still totally irreplaceable.
And we also saw brief mentions of things like Google's AI business caller, where AI can call local businesses for you, China's Kimi K2 model ranking high globally, specialized financial AI tools from Anthropic and Mistral, Amazon's Kura IDE for coding, planning project architecture first. It's just clear that innovation is bursting out everywhere, in every sector. So the bottom line message seems to be, leverage AI's capabilities, definitely use them, but always keep a human in the loop for the critical thinking and final decisions.
Absolutely. They're co-pilots. They're not replacements for critical thinking. Not yet, anyway.
So the big idea here, pulling it all together, it feels like ChatGPT's agent feature, and really all these new AI advancements, signal a fundamental change, a change in our relationship with technology. We're moving from just being users to becoming managers, maybe even skilled orchestrators of AI.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating now is thinking about what's coming next. Say in the next 6 to 12 months. Expect big increases in speed, reliability, that's almost a given, and a rapid move towards true multimodality or vision. Agents being able to interpret entire page layouts, recognize icons, maybe even learn by watching video tutorials. We'll probably also see more advanced long-term memory and deep personalization. Agents learning your preferences over time, becoming proactive, maybe even anticipating needs before you state them. And certainly, expect the rise of highly specialized agents, agents for specific jobs like legal research or marketing campaign creation, that could fundamentally change how work gets done.
While that dream of a fully autonomous AI handling absolutely everything, it isn't quite reality yet. But the progress we're seeing now is just staggering. These tools, even as they are already capable of absorbing a huge chunk of the tedious, time-consuming work that fills up our days. It seems like the most valuable skill in the coming years might actually be AI orchestration. The ability to effectively define goals, delegate complex tasks to a team of specialized AI agents, and provide that critical human oversight needed for quality, accuracy, and security. So, my advice, just start experimenting now. Give an agent a small, low-stakes task. See what happens. Learn its strengths, its weaknesses, its quirks. The future, I think, really belongs to those who don't just use AI, but learn how to lead it. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive, Outro Music.